Hello everyone. Ziljin here with another vlog. Yeah, so instead of comic book stuff, it's video game stuff. So yeah, you probably watched it. I mean, you probably didn't watch it already, but if you haven't seen it already, if you're a fan of Total War games or Romance of the Three Kingdoms, definitely you should know about it by now. But yeah, the newest historic title for the Total War game series is gonna be Total War Three Kingdoms. Hell yeah. So if you ever played the strategy game Romance of the Three Kingdoms or played the action beat 'em up Dynasty Warriors, yeah, that's what it's based on the Three Kingdoms area. So they're gonna have it for the Total War series. Like a lot of people have been begging for this game for so many years, and it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, because, like, you know, most of the Total War games focus on Europe, and there's nothing wrong with that. And now they have Warhammer, freaking awesome with the fantasy and stuff. Like, awesome, super awesome, definitely. Like, hopefully gonna see more, you know, historical areas. And yeah, they're also working on Thrones of Britannia, so it's kind of like, you know, Shogun Total War, where it just focuses on the UK. And well, obviously Three Kingdoms is just focuses on China. Maybe they'll also have a little Korea to it, because the Han Dynasty, like, yeah, I don't know everything about it, but yeah, so the game basically takes place during the Han Dynasty, right around 190 CE, and it's like right when, like, all the warlords rising up to fight against Dongzhuo. Yeah. Also, even though I am Chinese, I might not pronounce some of these names correctly, because, you know, I never officially took any Chinese lessons or anything. So yeah, and most of my pronunciations is learned from the Dynasty Warriors games, which haven't always been accurate. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so it takes place during the Han Dynasty, and at that point, I think it was Ganzun Kang or Ganzun Du. No, I think it's Ganzun Du, where he had like some control over Korea. The current Korean kingdom was like Goryeo, or yeah, I definitely don't know how to pronounce that at all. But yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna be like part of it. Maybe they'll have a little Korean forces in the game as well. But yeah, so it's mostly focused on China, and well, the southern part there might be a little bit in like Vietnam, and but yeah, most of it anyway. Most of it is in China. So yeah, so it's really awesome. It's really awesome that Total War is making games in different settings, different areas, different time periods, even different universes, you know, not just the historical scenarios, but also fictional, like Warhammer. Honestly, I've been waiting for Lord of the Rings Total War, but they went with Warhammer. I mean, it's still good, still fantasy, super awesome. But anyway, yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about the Three Kingdoms. So I'm reading from the PC Gamer article. Yeah, so definitely go check out the Total War channel and watch the cinematic if you have not already. Yeah, so in November, the Creative Assembly discussed the direction of its historical games. One of them was the Total War Saga Thrones of Britannia, which I discussed briefly. So basically, yeah, it's if you watch the show Vikings on History Channel with Ragnar Lothbrok and the Anglo-Saxons. I'm not even sure if they're Anglo-Saxons at that point. I know that there's like the Danes and like Northumbrians and Wessex and like, yeah, Mercia, and like I'm not sure what kind of people there are, like ancient British people. I don't know. Are they the Anglo-Saxons? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, even though I love these history stuff, but I don't know everything about it, because like I just know bits and pieces. I'm not like a history buff. I'm just history amateur Wikipedia article reader. But yeah, so that's also gonna be cool. So yeah, it has UK, so it has the Scotland, Ireland, Britain, yeah, and obviously Viking invaders. Yeah, Danes, probably like others, Swedes, and where's the other Scandinavian? Danish, Norwegians? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so there's gonna be, is it medieval England? Yeah, medieval UK. Yeah, medieval England, medieval Scotland, etc. It's just gonna focus on that. And then, okay, anyway, and they're also making Rome's 2 Empire DLC, Empire Divided. It's going to be another scenario, another grand campaign for Rome 2 Total War. It's really awesome. They're still working on the older games, even though, I mean, yeah, they've been spitting out games like one every year. Now they're going to have 2 for 2018. The Thrones of Britannia and the Three Kingdoms Total War. Yeah. And they're still working on DLC for Rome 2 Total War and Warhammer 2 Total War. Yeah. Wait, the Mortal Empires already came out, but yeah, really awesome. And then they said, you know, brand new unnamed brand new era process game, which is the now revealed to be Total War 3 Kingdoms. Yeah. So yeah, it's the very first time they're doing it, and it's gonna come out around fall 2018. So the end of this year. Awesome. Can't wait. I'm sure it's gonna be super duper awesome. Yeah. So it's okay, I said this already, but set in 190 CE era, the Three Kingdoms sees China in turmoil, wherein Dong Zhuo's oppressive regime is gaining pace and the Han Dynasty Empire is at war with itself. Faced with anarchy, 3 heroes join forces to unite the country, which in practice looks something like this. Yeah, and then they point to the trailer. So the 3 heroes they're talking about is Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei. So they have the Peach Garden Oath. Anyway, so yeah, so I did watch the trailer, super awesome. So it starts off with, I mean, yeah, lots of soldiers obviously, but there's the name characters that I definitely recognize is there's Dong Zhuo, there's Lu Bu, there's the little Emperor Xian, Xian, and then there's also Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei. There's they're the main top generals of the, well, Liu Bei is the leader and the founder of the Shu Han kingdom in the Three Kingdoms. So there's Shu, Wei, and Wu. Yeah, Wu is created by, I mean, like the first leader is Sun Quan, but like his brother Sun Se, you know, he's the one who actually conquered the areas. And also their dad Sun Jian was like the early leader. Yeah, although he didn't conquer that much area, but yeah, he's still I don't know, recognized as, yeah, obviously the leader of the Sun clan. But yeah, he didn't conquer Wu at that area, but definitely I'm sure they had control over parts of that area and whatnot, like not the entire area, Wu area. But anyway, yeah. And then the north is Cao Cao, or if you play Dynasty Warriors, Cao Cao, yeah. Or you speak Cantonese, Cho Cho, yeah. So like every dialect, like everyone pronounces differently. I'm sure there's the most proper way. The Mandarin way is the most preferred proper way in China, but yeah, I think it's Cao Cao in China. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so those are the Three Kingdoms. So interesting because this takes place in the anti-Dong Zhuo alliance area. So it's in addition. Like they don't even have the Three Kingdoms yet. Yeah. So there's, I know because I used to play those Romance of the Three Kingdoms games. They're super awesome, but they kind of, yeah, they're kind of like Total War, but they're more focused on the like role playing and on the officers and the generals, where you play as the general or the ruler, and you like go around talking to people and chatting and giving gifts, getting drunk and getting married, like stuff like that. So there's definitely lots of war and conquering and building up your cities and stuff and training your soldiers, etc. Lots of duels and debates and stuff like that. But there's also more like a social aspect and like leveling up your officers and stuff like that. In Total War, there's no like social aspect, but there is like in some games you get married and stuff like that, and then you have children and you inherit your like traits and stuff, like you build up their traits and level up your generals and stuff like that. So it's not quite the same. So I'm curious how they're gonna do the like generals and like officers and stuff like that. Yeah. Like Zhuge Liang, he's not gonna be he's not gonna be able to like kill lots of people, like, you know, the bodyguards and general bodyguards and the legendary lords and Warhammer, etc. Like Zhuge Liang, he's probably not gonna be like charging in a horse and killing people, tons of people. It's not like Dynasty Warriors, obviously. Probably. There's probably, I mean, yeah, all the games have been historical, realistic. Only Warhammer is like more fantastical, where one hero can kill hundreds and hundreds of people on the battlefield, like Dynasty Warriors. So they're probably not gonna do that, right? Probably. Or who knows? Maybe they will. But yeah, so right, so at this point in time, the main kingdoms, well, obviously is Dongzhuo. He's controlling the emperor and the Han Dynasty. And then like there's several other factions. Cause interesting, cause like Create Assembly, they're not gonna have like all the kingdoms all at once. Like if you played the other games, they're gonna have some of them, and then later some factions will never be playable, and some will be DLC where you download for free just for buying the game, and some will have you'll have to pay for it, and some will be included in like a different scenario. Like for Three Kingdoms China, I could totally see them, like they could do like at least 5 to 8 like different campaigns, but they're probably not going to do that because they're probably going to move on to like the next game after this. So I mean, I think they usually have like three or four campaigns before they stop. But although Rome 2 it's up to like its 4th or 5th campaign, so yeah, so they probably could do like 5 campaigns for the Three Kingdoms. Yeah. Definitely, it would be exciting to see like a Three Kingdoms scenario where if it's actually the Three Kingdoms, Shu, Wei, and Wu, and then they'll have like a Menghuo uprising where it has elephant troops, elephant riders, and like heavily armored, where it's like made of like straw armor or something, so they're super vulnerable to fire attacks. Yeah, so if you play Dynasty Warriors, you should know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so there's lots of factions, but not all of them show up during this 190 CE, during the anti-Dongzhuo alliance. So some of them, they don't show up until later. So I could definitely see them trying to milk out the DLC, making lots of money, and then yeah, they're going to introduce later campaigns with all the factions that show up later in the timeline. Yeah. So anyway, back to the anti-Dongzhuo alliance. So I mean, most of you probably, if you're a fan of Three Kingdoms, you probably already know them. But yeah, so there's Dongzhuo, there's Ma Teng. He has like elite cavalry. So yeah, so I mean, I'm curious how they're gonna do the troops, because like, so I guess it'll probably be like Shogun Total War, where the majority armies are like identical, but like they'll have like a few elite units where it's different. Like Ma Teng is definitely gonna have elite cavalry. Ganzun Zan, he's gonna have elite cavalry as well. His cavalry is different because they all have white horses. It's like the Baima cavalry, because like basically like they're fighting some like barbarians, even though barbarians is technically a offensive word now, politically incorrect. But yeah, he's fighting these like northern tribesmen. And then he had like white horses, and they're like, oh my god, they're so scared of white horses because most of the horses are like brown or black. So yeah, so that's his signature cavalry. So that's definitely they definitely have to incorporate that into the game, right? Because he's a warlord during this era, during this time period. And then like Liu Bei, he's considered the underdog of the the series of the kingdoms. And early on, especially like during this time, like he doesn't have elite infantry, he doesn't have elite soldiers. Most of his army, is just like volunteer peasant militias. Like, so definitely, I can imagine Liu Bei's armies will be like more peasant quality, like more lower quality infantry and etc. Yeah. So yeah, and I believe Cao Cao, he was at this point, or after this point, he gets the elite Qingzhou infantry, which is basically there's some yellow scarves or yellow turbans, depending on the translation or what you know it from. But yeah, I believe in China it's called Yellow Scarves Rebellion, but in the games like it's called Yellow Turban Rebellions. Some translation stuff, but yeah, basically by this time most of them are dead or like disbanded. But if they're in the game, there would definitely be like more peasant mobs. Yeah, because they're definitely not like elite infantry or anything like that. And if and they're supposed to be like have some magical elements, mystical elements with their leader Zhang Jiao. He's probably not going to be in the game, although they could be in like an earlier, could be in the DLC campaign later on. But yeah, it takes place briefly before, a couple of years before this Dongzhuo scenario. But anyway, there's some remnants, and Cao Cao does defeat them, and he gets like hundreds of thousands of elite soldiers from those yellow scarves. He allows them to reform and become part of his elite army. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure when that happens. I probably should have looked it up. But yeah, if that, yeah, so maybe that could be like a part of the game, like Cao Cao's mission, one of the missions, conquer those yellow scarves rebels, and then and then he can, after capturing that city, he can have access to, you know, the elite Qingzhou infantry. But yeah, and then there's Sun Jian, and there's like Liu Biao. Sun Jian is actually like the descendant of Sun Tzu, the famous art of war. Yeah, and like the Sun clan definitely in the, yeah, they live in like southern area below the, I don't know which river. I want to say Yangtze River, but that's the only river I know in China. But yeah, they're living below the river, so they're really good at naval combat. So if they have naval combat in this game, definitely I could see them having better naval units, naval infantry, naval ships, boats, etc. But yeah, maybe they're good at trade or something. Faction bonuses to trade or raiding. Yeah, because they've also been notorious. They're notorious for raiding their neighbors, Liu Biao, who's in the Jingzhou province. Yeah. But like some of the leaders, they're probably not. I imagine they probably won't be playable, like Liu Biao or Liu Jiang or Ganzun do, if they can incorporate the Korean the Korean territories or the soldiers and stuff like that, then maybe, yeah, Ganzun do could be like a playable faction, like maybe later on DLC. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's like a whole bunch of other warlords like Kong Rong, Wang Quang, Han Fu, he's one of them. Wan Shao, he's pretty esteemed. Wan Shu, like there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So they probably won't be all playable at the beginning, you know, because that's how the Total War games are at, like, and then they'll be available for DLC, you know. You can purchase them later or download it for free for later, but yeah. There's also Zhang Lu, he's supposed to be like mystical. Maybe he'll have some like magical units, like maybe not magical, but like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, wait, let's see if there's anything else in this article. You know, 3 heroes soar into brotherhood in the face of tyranny, rally support for the trials ahead, scenting opportunity, warlords from China's great families follow suit, forming a fragile coalition in a bid to challenge Dongzhuo's remorseless rule. Will they triumph against the tyrant, or will personal ambition shatter their already crumbling alliance and drive them to supremacy? The crucible fizzes, alliances shifts, the fires of conflict stroke opportunity. Only one thing is certain: the very future of China will be shaped by its champions. Total War 3 Kingdoms is the next major historical strategy game in the award-winning Total War series. Yeah, also, yeah, and the officers in the cinematic, I already discussed them all, except for there's one that I wasn't sure who it is, because he has like red outfit, so if I had to guess if it's based on Dynasty Warriors, red would be Sun Jian. Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure. He doesn't look like Cao Cao or Sun Jian or any of the other warlords. I mean, I probably like, he looks maybe closer to Yuan Shu, but I doubt he's gonna be the main character in it. Like, I mean, although he is kind of pivotal in the 3 Kingdoms era, like he's Wan Shao's half brother or cousin, or he's related to him, so he's very esteemed. And also he does get the imperial seal from Sun Ce, and then like, yeah, and then he declares himself emperor, and he's involved with like all the different warlords, Cao Cao, Liu Bei, Liu Wu, Sun Ce, like etc., Liu Biao, like he's fighting against everyone. Yeah. Also, one of the minor warlords I forgot to mention, Tao Tao Qian. He doesn't really do anything, but yeah. So he's probably not gonna be a playable faction. But he does have some yellow scarves remnants. He does let some of them, like, he's very lenient and like gives like people second chances. So maybe there could be some yellow scarf units in Cao Cao's army or Tao Qian's army, stuff like that. Or they're just like rebels. Maybe the rebels that show up will be yellow scarf. Maybe not, because most of them are kind of dead by that point. But yeah, definitely interested seeing how they could do it, and definitely some possible scenarios, you know, for future DLC, future campaigns, in addition to the grand campaign, you know, like the Three Kingdoms where it's Wu versus Wei versus Shu, and maybe some non-mans, the Menghu Rebellion. And then there's also like there's a movie for Chibi Red Cliff, so that's definitely could be a possible DLC campaign where Liu Bei and Sun Quan allies, fights against Cao Cao and wins a devastating battle where it's like they have like 50,000 troops versus Cao Cao's like 1 million strong army, and they completely wipe them out. Yeah, like that'd be cool to see it. And there's also like Battle of Guandu, where it's Cao Cao versus Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao has like all northern China, and then Cao Cao has like the middle of China. So yeah, that'd be those are probably the more popular choices for like DLC campaigns, I'm imagining. Yeah. So I think I talked about enough of this. You probably didn't understand any of it unless you played Dynasty Warriors or the Romance of Three Kingdoms games or watched some of the movies or the TV shows. By the way, I just did finish binging the Advisors Alliance, which is actually free to watch on YouTube. It has subtitles, HD quality. It's on the channel China Zone. Yeah, it's about Sima Yi and the Cao family. So yeah, it's like during like later China. So it's definitely not. It's not gonna have anything to do with this game in terms of the timeline. It happens a lot later, when Cao Cao has already conquered like the majority of China. Yeah. But yeah, definitely if you haven't watched that show, be sure to check it out. It started airing last year. Yeah. So awesome, super awesome. It's mostly political drama like the Game of Thrones, but there's really not that much action or violence or sex or anything like that. It's mostly just drama, political drama, and also they have some comedy. I want to say a lot of comedy, but yeah, definitely some scenes are really freaking hilarious, especially like the parts with Sima Yi interacting with his wife. It's really funny. Yeah, his wife beats him up quite a bit. I guess domestic abuse is not funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but it's kind of funny when a man gets beat up by his wife. It's not funny when a woman gets beat up by her husband, but it's kind of funny when a man gets beat up by his wife. Even though that's kind of sexist, I guess. But yeah, anyway, so that's all the time we got for this episode. So hopefully everyone's enjoying this video and everyone's hyped for the new Total War 3 Kingdoms. Even though I spent like half the episode talking about other things, Warhammer, Britannia, etc., Vikings, etc. But yeah, and like most of it is not even about the game, it's just random stuff about Three Kingdoms era. But yeah, so hopefully you learned a little bit about the game. You're hyped about it as much as I am. And yeah, I'm really curious how they're gonna like parcel it out into DLC and the campaigns and the factions and stuff. Like almost half the factions don't show up until after this battle, after this setting, like because yeah, the Three Kingdoms era spans like hundreds of years. So well, is it hundreds of years or like definitely lots of decades, at least 100, 200 years. So yeah, there's a lot of potential for lots of factions and DLC and campaigns and etc. But realistically, they're probably not going to cover it all. I mean, definitely a lot of factions will be in the game, just not all of them will be playable. But yeah. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know down below. Subscribe, comment, rate the video, and yeah. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.